Unless you're particularly well versed in the ancient history of Spain, you've probably never heard of Lady Elche before. She still remains a mystery to most, and continually puzzles experts and researchers who are searching for answers. So today, here at Unexplained Mysteries, we'll be taking a look at the world of Lady Elche, exploring who she was, her legacy, connections to Atlantis, her elongated skull, and interesting headdress. Who is the Lady of Elche? If you're still wondering who the Lady of Elche is, she's actually not a person, but a sculpture of a bust of a woman that was discovered in 1897. She was found in Valencia, Spain, on a private estate, and has grown to be one of the most iconic statues in Spain. She was actually first discovered by a 14-year-old boy who overturned a stone and laid his eyes on the statue. The Lady of Elche depicts a woman's head, neck, shoulders, and chest. Some believe that it could have originally been part of a full-body statue before its discovery. What makes it even more interesting is the large and complex headdress she wears, that many believe means she was a priestess. Experts argue that the statue dates back to the 4th century BC, but there has been some controversy surrounding the time that the statue would have been constructed. Many believe the statue is nothing to be marvelled over, as it's a forgery and not the original. An art historian by the name of John F. Moffat spoke about the age of the statue, saying, "The shape of the nose and eyes couldn't have been carved in pre-Christian Spain due to how delicate they are." Experts throughout the globe continue to argue about when the statue was created, and the aforementioned argument doesn't faze most people who cherish the Lady of Elche. After the beginning of World War II in 1939, the statue was moved. It was put in a castle in France. Later, she returned to Spain in 1971, where she was placed in the permanent collection of the National Archaeological Museum. Since the lady became Spain's national treasure, the people of Spain fought over where it should be held. It was being held in the Museum of Spain in Madrid, when the mayor of Elche pushed for its return for the celebration of the city's 2000th year in 1997. Upon asking to move the Lady of Elche back for a special exhibit, the petition was denied. With the people of Elche in an uproar, the government that had denied the request tried to explain that it wouldn't survive the journey of a mere 250 miles from Madrid to Elche. Whilst it was fragile, many other fragile pieces had been moved across the world on a regular basis. This led people to believe the request was denied simply due to political motivations, and the fear that the people of Elche wouldn't return the statue back to Madrid after the event. People also suggested that if the statue were to be removed from Madrid, other significant relics would be removed as well. The people of Spain continued to argue over the statue and where it should be held. It demonstrates the importance of this iconic statue, as children continue to learn about its history and the stories behind the priestess in school. While Spain continues to teach its people about the ancient relic, there are many differing opinions concerning its origins. Connections to Atlantis. Trying to determine where the Lady of Elche originated from has been largely debated over the years. The origins have continued to puzzle experts, who have suggested two main possibilities among other less popular opinions. While some people believe the sculpture is Iberian, others think it represents an Atlantean goddess. When looking at the headdress she wears, researchers have taken a closer look at the spools within it. They've suggested that they are some type of technological headgear that could only have come from the Atlantis civilization. If this were the case, the Lady of Elche may have once belonged to an Atlantic colony. The specific goddess she is said to look like was Tanit, and has also been connected to the headdress that women from an indigenous American population would wear. Another statue of a lady that is seen as almost identical to the Elche was found in Utah. Experts were able to connect the two pieces because they both contain relics made from the same metal. This further supported the theory that she was in fact from Atlantis. Other experts have explored how a similar peaked headdress has been worn in Tunisia in more modern days. They also noticed the jewellery design has Phoenician analogues. Some people look to the refined face of the Lady of Elche and speak to her royal and expressionless gaze. This suggests she could have been something such as an Egyptian queen. With that said, others argue that her facial features are uniquely Caucasian, and therefore must be from Atlantis. It still remains unclear as to where the Lady of Elche truly originated from. Although many aspects point to Atlantis, no one can be sure at this point in time. With so much information readily available at our fingertips, why is it so difficult to determine where she comes from? We can only hope she will be preserved over time to allow us to further explore the history surrounding her origins and eventually reach a definitive answer. Her elongated skull and interesting headdress. The last mysterious aspect we'll be evaluating is the elongated skull and headdress of the lady. Both have raised numerous questions among archaeologists, researchers and other experts. Beginning with the elongated skull, it's apparent after taking one look at the sculpture that the head is elongated. Some people think it's just part of the headdress, but others argue that the skull itself was like this. With only a few researchers backing the hypothesis of the skull, we're nowhere near any conclusion. When looking back at the headdress of the lady, what at first glance simply appears to be an unusual and intricate design looks more like a modern-day communication device. Looking at the side profile, you can see that the circular devices appear to be emitting radio waves. Whilst many argue that this is a fact, others suggest that they're braided hair, which is rotated to create an ornament on either side of the head. She's even been compared to Princess Leia from Star Wars after looking at the way the headdress rounds the side of the statue's face. They've also been referred to as earmuffs that were representative of Atlantis. Parts of Peru and the Andes have been connected to Atlantis. This is where they discovered Anunnaki remains. Another legend explains that there were men who visited Earth from Venus with those types of earmuffs. Of course, this theory surrounding aliens has not been the most popular, but it continues to lead to more questioning of where this statue could have come from. It seems as if the elongated skull and headdress of the lady have not helped in providing the vital information needed to draw conclusions about the mysterious sculpture. Do you think the headdress was ornamental, or could it have served a function in a more modern world? These questions have yet to be answered with any certainty. Until that day comes, we'll have to work with the information we currently have and decide for ourselves. Now that you've gained insight into the mysterious world of the Lady of Elche, what do you think? Whilst it's clear that there are certainly more questions than answers, it's interesting to learn about the history and places the sculpture could have originated from. Although we don't have all the answers, experts continue to delve into the finer details, searching for more. We may not know where the Lady of Elche came from in this lifetime, but as science and technology continue to progress, who's to say we won't find the answers we're looking for one day? So what do you make of these mysteries surrounding the Lady of Elche? Be sure to let us know your thoughts in the comments section below and help us by growing this community, whilst working to solve these unexplained mysteries. Thank you for watching and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.